this service, this examination preparation is a long marathon ride. क्या कर रहे हो, इतने साल हो गए, 4 साल हो गए हैं, 4 साल में दोबारा बीटेक कर सकते थे, फिर भी तुम यहीं पे लगे हुए हो, ये है, अनएम्प्लॉयड बैठे हो, यूथ हो, ऐसे कर रहे हो, तो वो सब आएंगे. दैट इज़ अ पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ दिस प्रिपरेशन. And my personal case also, my father used to be a huge strength for me, and when I unfortunately lost him because of the COVID in June, later June, so that was after the mains result and before the interview phase. So that was a really huge shock for me. So hello everyone, this is Divyanshu Nigam. I have secured All India rank 44th in this year's civil examination, and most probably I will be getting into the Indian Administrative Service. I hail from the city of Lucknow in UP. So my journey in the UPSC has started in 2017 in the formal manner after graduating from my college, that is BITS Pilani Goa campus. There I have done BTech in chemical engineering. But here I like to mention that though the journey has started in 2017, regarding the inspiration, that I would say that most of it came from my family itself. My father was into the Indian Forest Service. He has always been a very inspiring figure for me. He used to tell me about how the system works, how this entire country is run, and that really fascinates me all the time, because it's a huge achievement for the country like of the size of India with 125 crore people being managed in a system when all the other powers and major thinkers have said that India cannot survive as a democracy given the type of society we live in and the level of literacy and all. But still we have been surviving as a very vibrant democracy till now, and we have been a successful democracy also in this period. So this system really excites me.
दोस्तों, सोशियोलॉजी के टॉपर्स के मुंह से तो आपने बहुत बार सुना होगा कि उन्होंने स्लीपी के रिसोर्सेज यूज किए. तो लेकिन ऐसे भी कुछ टॉपर्स हैं जो सोशो ऑप्शन से नहीं है. वो क्यों स्लीपी का नाम लेते हैं? दोस्तों, हम स्लीपी क्लासेस में जीएस एक्सटेंसिवली कवर करते हैं. ना सिर्फ यूट्यूब में डेली 4 वीडियोस आते हैं दोस्तों वहां पर, बल्कि हमारे पेड मॉड्यूल्स हैं. आज भी भारत के मोस्ट कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव पेड मॉड्यूल्स सिस्टमैटिकली कवरेज करते हैं पूरे जो जीएस को, एंड मेंटरिंग भी अब तो शामिल है. दोस्तों, मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूं इस पूरी जर्नी में जो कि भारत के ग्रास रूट से क्रिएट कर रही है अब टॉपर्स.
So it is very important for you to find the why you want to get into the service. It can be anything. It can be if you want to prove yourself to someone, can you prove yourself to yourself or for the society. It can be anything. I'm not commenting upon that fact, but should know why you want to do this. This service, this examination preparation is a long marathon ride, where you cannot just sprint, because many a time we see that aspirants come and study very hard, like 10 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours a day for like 4-5 months, but then they burn out. This is not what UPSC requires. It requires a continuous effort of at least 2 years, because if you are attempting this exam for the first time even, you have to put in 2 years, 1 year for preparation and 1 year for the exam cycle to end. This year the exam cycle ended for 1.5 years only. So this is very important, and for that some practical tip that I would like to suggest, that whenever you're feeling down or depressed, you should start. First is a very simple thing: you can sleep. That helps a lot. But second is a more productive thing is to engage your mind productively, and for that I used to write journals, that is diary writing, or write answers or any notes. Because when you write something, that is a very active exercise, and when you are doing an active exercise, your mind is constantly working towards it, and you will be pushed away from the negative thoughts that you need. Secondly is that stop hanging out with the negative people and negative energies that are around you, because this preparation, for example, in my case also, I've heard lots of comments and tanas in Hindi कि क्या कर रहे हो, इतने साल हो गए, 4 साल हो गए हैं, 4 साल में दोबारा बीटेक कर सकते थे, फिर भी तुम यहीं पे लगे हुए हो, ये है, अनएम्प्लॉयड बैठे हो, यूथ हो, ऐसे कर रहे हो, तो वो सब आएंगे. दैट इज़ अ पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ दिस प्रिपरेशन. यू आर नॉट अलोन इन दिस. सबको ही आता है. सब टॉपर्स जो आज तक भी गए हैं, सबको ऐसा कुछ ना कुछ सुनने को मिला होगा. तो इससे आपको डरना नहीं है इस बात से कि ठीक है, यूज़ दैट एज योर एनर्जी. कभी किसी की बात बुरा लगे तो यूज़ दैट नेगेटिव एनर्जी and change. As you have said, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed. So it's your duty that you have to transform it to a positive energy. That you have challenged me that I have been unemployed for this, so I'll just prove this to you. So make this as your motivation. Make this as your hurt on your ego that I will do this thing. So this will change your preparation into a mission mode. That I have also seen that I've even named my preparation also, that was #MPP, that is mission pehla page, that I want to get my name on the rank list and on the first page itself, and thankfully it came. So when you have a mission mode, and in fact we can learn from the government itself that many of the major schemes are being run on a mission mode. So then when we are running on a mission mode, you have a set targets to achieve, you have a set timeline, what do you want to do, what you have a set strategy to do. So this preparation requires a very scientific approach towards this. So this is also a thing. So another thing that I want to focus on the role of the parent that I was discussing. So the entire childhood upbringing and all that thing is hugely influenced by the influence of the parents. So as I was talking about that the importance of studies and education has to be internalized in the students, because then only they can even aspire to make their career out of the education, and this is the most easiest way to actually progress towards it. And what I want to emphasize regarding my taking my personal example also, that I was always told that education is very important. You have to maintain a discipline how to study. You do not have to focus on the marks or focus on the ranks in the class, rather a constant and a daily routine of studying mixed with games and playing everything else, but studies has to be a part of it. So this is very important. Another thing is that the motivational role that the parents should provide is that they should allow their students allow their children to pursue their own interest. That it should not be, I would say that it should not be the parents' dream to make their children an IAS officer or an IPS officer. Rather, it should be the students and the children's dream that should be conveyed to the parents. And for here, there should be a very good and progressive way of contact between the children and the parents. There should not be any type of hesitation from speaking of the mind of the young children. Because often we see that parents are very strict, or parents maintain such an atmosphere at home that children are not very free to open up their minds. It should not be that they should be forced that you have to become this doctor, engineer, or anything. This is very important. My parents never forced me for doing this. Rather, since my father was already in the government service, so he used to rather caution me also that be sure that this is what you got when you get into the service. So I would like, okay, that's okay, I am prepared for that. So this is very important. Another thing is that once you have made up your mind that I want to do this or that, you should always tell your parents regarding that. They will always, I believe, most likely they will always guide you in a much better way, that this should be done, that should be done. And once you get the parents' approval for this and parents' support for that, this is a very big emotional advantage that you got, because this phase of preparation is very with ups and downs. So when you are at the down, it is your parents that will come and help you. In my personal case also, my father used to be a huge strength for me, and when I unfortunately lost him because of the COVID in later June, so that was after the mains result and before the interview phase. So that was a really huge shock for me, and a very soul crunching type of thing, that what exactly happened. There was a sense of void, like my biggest pillar of strength is gone now. So then as I said, that energy, this is also a negative energy that was being built up. So I used my regular approach on the process of transforming into a positive energy. So I took it as a challenge that now this exam is even more for me. Rather, it would be sounding like a Bollywood cliche thing, that I will pass this exam and get into the service for my father first, and I am sure that wherever he is, he will be guiding me.
दोस्तों, सोशियोलॉजी के टॉपर्स के मुंह से तो आपने बहुत बार सुना होगा कि उन्होंने स्लीपी के रिसोर्सेज यूज किए, तो लेकिन ऐसे भी कुछ टॉपर्स हैं जो सोशो ऑप्शनल से नहीं है। वो क्यों स्लीपी का नाम लेते हैं? दोस्तों, हम स्लीपी क्लासेस में जीएस एक्सटेंसिवली कवर करते हैं, ना सिर्फ यूट्यूब में डेली 4 वीडियोस आते हैं दोस्तों वहां पर, बल्कि हमारे पेड मॉड्यूल्स हैं। आज भी भारत के मोस्ट कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव पेड मॉड्यूल्स सिस्टमैटिकली कवरेज करते हैं पूरे जो जीएस को, एंड मेंटरिंग भी अब तो शामिल है। दोस्तों, मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूं इस पूरी जर्नी में, जो कि भारत के ग्रास रूट से क्रिएट कर रही है अब टॉपर्स।
So that again used to, like, I made my father again as my strength area. That his blessings will be there, and even now also after getting into the successful candidates, I hugely think that it was my father's blessing, that he is constantly around with me, that he is blessing us from the heaven. And here also the role of the mother is equally important, should not be belittled any time. She has always been a huge motivation factor to me. She is always taking care of my food and everything like that. I do not have to worry about these type of things. And she never, rather both of my parents have never forced me or pressurized me even after 2 failures that I should go towards the private sector, or I am becoming a liability for them or something like that. So here the positive role of the parents, are again, as I've said, is very important for the child's upbringing and overall success in the examination.